Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. Hope the sun's shining where you guys are. Just want to talk today, this video, about re-emphasising really that we all have to wake up. If we don't, our children's futures are at stake. We're only going to look to Russia and Belarus at the moment, how they're trying to take down Putin and they're trying to take down Lukashenko, because these two guys know exactly what's going on and they are protecting their people. They know that this new world order is a Marxist, communist regime, and they know their countries have already been there once, and they don't want to go back there, because what's coming is a lot worse than what Trotsky, Lenin and Stalin could ever do. These people, these elites, these 300 families of 300 are monsters, ladies and gentlemen, absolute monsters. And beautiful waterfalls there. These people are monsters. They've not got the people's interest at heart at all. Government, ladies and gentlemen, we keep reiterating it. Government is actually, when you look it up in Latin, that it's to control the mind. That's what government is. And that's working perfectly for them at the moment. We are all in a trance. We're all mind controlled, whether you like it or not. Well, majority are. Some of us are awake and trying to wake the rest of you up. We've been telling you since 2016 what was going on when we didn't get Brexit. We told you the New World Order was trying to put the New World Order into place, and everybody just laughed. We also told you 2020 would be a big year for the Islamic State. We thought it was the Islamic State itself that was going to kick off, and there is time for that yet. But if you look at who Black Lives Matter are and who funds Black Lives Matter, you will see for yourselves, guys, that Black Lives Matter is funded by George Soros, but it's also backed by Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood. So that's who Black Lives Matter is. They're all bending on one knee for and succumbing to. They are part of it. They are Marxist communists themselves. So they're all for this New World Order. Well, Antifa and them are. I think Black Lives Matter are going to be in for a big shock when it does come to fruition, because they think they ain't got any freedom now. Under communism you'll have no freedom whatsoever. And your government, like I say, we're supposed to vote them in, ladies and gentlemen. We vote them in for our well-being, to act on our behalf, to control the economy on our behalf, to keep us safe, to look out for dangers and to protect us from terrorism and threats, both foreign and domestic. And yet here we are, our own government is selling us out to the New World Order. They've not got your interest at heart. Anybody with any brains, any common sense, can go online and in 5 minutes can look up these masks, and you will see they don't protect you one little bit from COVID-19. They don't protect you at all from that or any other disease. It tells you on the box. So if we know that in a 5 minutes search on an internet, on a website, and I'm talking about independent websites, not government websites, because all these scientists that they have on Sky, CNN, BBC, they're all in on the scam. ladies and gentlemen, because they've all got either after funding or they've already got government funding. So they have to say exactly what the government wants them to say, or the funding is removed. But have you ever noticed when the independent scientists come out, who get funding off the public, etc., come out to try and put their point of view, they're always shut down. They're always taken off a platform if they're on a platform, because they don't want the truth coming out. They just want you to believe their controlled scientists. And this is where we all need to wake up to it. And you've only got to look now, guys. Come on, wake up. Look at how they're treating us now, because we keep allowing it. They're treating us, it's getting worse. You've got to wear the mask everywhere. That's going to endanger their health, and these know it. They know these masks are dangerous, yet they're still going to enforce them, except for themselves, ladies and gentlemen, because as you know, they've said unless you're working. So an MP will say is classed as always working, even when he's not in Parliament. When he's travelling around, he mingles with people and answers the questions and that. So that's how they get round it for themselves. You see, they're very, very clever, these politicians. So it's one rule for them and one rule for us, ladies and gentlemen. But what we've got to do, we've got to start uniting as one and say no more. That's all we've got to do, and start pushing back. Because if we don't, like I've said, we've all seen how they're treating us. Is that really the legacy and the lives for your children when you depart this world, that you want to leave behind for your future generations to live in? I mean, with the slavery, you've got no idea once this is all back in place. Don't forget, these people, we get blamed for the slavery, yet it was the elites. And I think Prince Harry's a cheeky twat today coming out, white privilege. It's people like his family who was involved in the slave trade because they were wealthy enough to do them. The majority of the people like myself and everybody watching, our families would be just like we are now. They'd be the peasants. They wouldn't even afford to be able to buy a slave, let alone trade with one and trade them as a business. It was all the elites. And who's to say when they get their little control over the world, it won't start again. Don't ever rule it out. That won't ever start again once they have the control. Look how many children go missing every year around the world, ladies and gentlemen. And look at your governments, what they're doing about it. They don't even look into it. And when they do look into it, it's not looked into properly. They've arrested this Ghislaine or whatever her name is, Maxwell, at the moment, supposedly. Now, they've arrested her, but when's the court date coming up? Oh, it's not till next year. Surely there's more chance of her getting bumped off the longer they leave it. They should be having her in now and either saying spill the beans or you're going to jail for the rest of your life in a secure unit 24/7. And that's what they should be doing, because let's face it, somebody like Tommy, who didn't do half of what they've done, they stuck him in solitary confinement 24/7. But these people, they're treated like kings and queens when they're arrested. They're all paedophiles and scumbags, and yeah, when they get caught, instead of wrapping them before the judge the next day and getting it sorted, it drags on and on and on. And this is why I ain't 100% on Trump at the moment, because you want justice, and you want it justice as soon as you can. If somebody's running a paedophile ring, you want that sorting out and you want it done, and everybody behind bars, because that's, even though she's locked up, that's still going on, ladies and gentlemen. Every day they're still trafficking the children, and the scumbags in our parliament are part of it. Loads of them are doing it. But what we ain't doing, we're not We're not putting any pressure on these people, and it's about time we did, because if we don't, like I say, our country's going down the pan. It'll end up like Bangladesh in another 5 or 10 years, ladies and gentlemen. It's got no choice but to, because the way it is. It's got no choice but to be like Bangladesh, because the crash in the economy every day. The crash in the economy every day. Another business, another small independent business goes bust because of these people. Because they don't want the middle class anymore. They want those with money and those without money. In other words, the elites who've got billions and people like us slaves. That's all they want. They don't want you to be able to get on the ladder and have not billions but have enough money to live the lifestyle they want, because they class you as scum. And until we wake up to this fact and realise that these people are genuinely not on our side, they're there to enslave us and kill us all, that's where it is. And we've all borrowed, well, not we, the governments around the world have borrowed trillions and trillions and that many trillions in debt around the world. If you had 15 billion slaves, they wouldn't be able to pay this debt off. That's why they need to press the reset button and start again. But we don't need to press the reset button. We've done nothing wrong. All we need to do is carry on where we are now and just remove these people and put people in who are going to look after the people. That's all we need to do, and put it all in law and all in documents that there will be people in the Parliament watching them every day, and the minute they see them with anybody from the Rothschilds or whatever like that doing anything dodgy, they're gone immediately. And that's how you run your country. Start getting it back to normal. Start getting the people working in the Parliament like it was for the common people, because that's what it was, the House of Commons, the House of Commoners. And we had representatives from around the country in there, and that's where we've got to get it back to, and get rid of all these paedophilic, psychopathic, sociopathic, evil, satanic scumbags who are just like leeches and just bleeding everybody's country dry. That's what we've got to do. And if people don't agree with that, well, they're either are mind controlled, or they don't see the big picture, what's going on, even though they think they're awake, because that is the big picture. And it's just going to get worse and worse and worse, and it's not ever going to get any better unless the people around the world rise up as one and take back control of your countries from these evil monsters. This is a fight between good and evil, and at the moment evil is winning. People need to start putting your house in order and going back to God, because that's the only way is getting back your spirit back in a good place, in the light. We're all in the dark at the moment, and we're all following a satanic cult. We need to step away from that, and you'll see the more people that come together, the more people that come back into the light from the dark, you will see things start to change in a big way. Because at the moment we're just all sleepwalking into oblivion, guys, and we need to stop. But just think about what I've said, guys. You might think it's rubbish, you might not, but that's just my own personal opinion. And like I said, we've been telling you since 2016, and we've never been wrong about anything yet. Even the MEP elections, when we told everybody, don't vote in the MEP elections, you're just going to tie you back to the EU. No, it ain't. 2 weeks later, Godfrey Bloom and other top QCs came out and backed up everything that me and Nathan had said, that it was all fools for voting, because it'd give you sovereignty back to the EU to make it even harder to get out. And here we are now, we're still trying to get out. And I still don't think we'll get out come December. If you think they're going to make you wear masks and that now, and you can't go here, you can't go there, you can't get in a taxi without a mask, you can't get on the bus without a mask, you can't wait outside the shop or go in the shop without a mask. If you think they're going to give you Brexit when you're falling for all that bullshit, then you better think again, guys, because it's not going to happen unless you stand up around the world as one. Everybody now start fighting back, start pushing back, saying no, we ain't wearing this stupid mask. There's nothing they can do if the majority do it. But what'll happen is, oh, I can't, I'm frightened of the fine, oh, I can't, I'm frightened of this. Oh, stop being scared, lose the fear. If all our ancestors, what if they didn't want to jump off them boats when they went to Normandy? The majority of them knew they was jumping out and they could be facing certain death when they jumped out of them little marine things onto Dunkirk beaches and Sword Beach and that, and Gull Beach. They knew they could be facing certain death the minute the thing dropped and they jumped in the water. And a lot of them did lose their lives immediately, but they still did it for us, ladies and gentlemen, to give us a future. And we're just throwing our futures away for our children, and without a fight and we're doing nothing. And if them people could come back today, I would imagine they'd be ashamed of all of us, and rightly so. It's time, guys, it really is time to start getting your house in order, both with God and with your children, and start fighting for them and doing the right thing. Anyway, guys, I'll leave it there. I hope you're having a great day in the sunshine if you've got it there. And just stay safe, look after your families, think about what I've said, try and spread the word. We need as many people awake as we possibly can get, because we've got to fight on our hands, but we can do it, because like it says, where we go one, we go all. Let's do this, guys, we can do it. Stay safe, speak to you all soon, love every single one of you.